Hey everyone, Jared here with ToneandTitan.com, and this is going to be a 25-minute total body workout that you can do at home with zero equipment required. We're going to be doing 8 different exercises. We'll do them in 40-20 intervals. We'll do 40 seconds of a high interval and 20 seconds of a low interval or active recovery period, and then we'll repeat that 3 times. We'll get started with our first exercise. It's going to be some side step rows. What you'll do is you'll take a big step to the side. So for example, let's take a big step to the side, to the left, drop that right foot back behind you, kind of in a curtsy lunge position. As you do that, you're going to drop down into a row motion. Now with this workout, I wanted to show you a couple different variations. So for 20 seconds, we'll do the lower intensity version, or the beginner version of the exercise. For the next 20 seconds, we'll show you the higher intensity version, or the more advanced version of the exercise. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to take that curtsy lunge and you're going to turn it into a skater lunge by leaping from side to side. Turns it into more of a plyometric activity. Okay, there's our 40-second high interval. Let's do a 20-second low interval. Now for my low intervals, I kind of prefer to do more of an active low interval. Instead of just standing around kind of waiting for that 20 seconds to pass, let's keep it active. Let's keep moving. I'm doing a little bit of a boxer shuffle here, basically a way to keep your heart rate elevated throughout the workout. The next one we're going to do, the next exercise is going to be a squat, reverse, row, and reach. So what you'll do is you'll drop down into a squat, you'll pull your elbows back behind you into a row, and then return upright, then drop down into a squat again, and then reach both straight arms up and over your head. And so again, we're just trying to maximize our time. We'll hear for the next 20 seconds the higher intensity version of this. We're going to drop lower into a squat, and we're going to pick the speed up. And so we really want to try to maximize our time. Again, this is a total body workout, and so we're going to be doing a ton of combination moves that are going to work your lower body as well as your upper body. Again, it's only about 25 minutes long, so we want to maximize that time. We want to work as hard as we can for that amount of time. And so there's your 40-second on the high interval. And here comes your 20-second on the low interval. Again, whichever version of that high interval, be it the beginner or the more intermediate advanced version, that's the one that you'll do for the 40 seconds. Try to push yourself, try to do just as much as you feel like you can. Our next exercise is going to be called a static reverse, fly, and reach. So you're going to drop down into a quarter squat, you're going to hinge forward at your hips, and then the static reverse fly comes by pulling both straight arms back behind you, and then the reach comes by lifting both arms up and over your head. If you need a little bit higher intensity version of this, you can drop lower into a squat and you can pick your speed up. Increasing the speed on any of these is just going to give you a few more reps per given unit of time. So again, we're doing a 40-second on, 20-second off. So during that 40-second on, the faster your speed, the more reps you're going to get in that 40-second time period. Okay, and so again, here's our 20-second active recovery period. Again, I'm showing you a boxer shuffle. You might be doing a high knees, you can do a jump rope, you can go up and down the stairs, you can walk around the room. Basically, I just don't want you to stand still in one place during this 20-second low interval period. All right, next exercise we're going to be doing is an oblique crunch with a ceiling punch. Right arm goes up towards the ceiling, and then as you raise your right leg kind of up and out to the side, you're going to drop that right elbow down towards your knee. We're going to do about 3 to 5 of those on the right, and then we're going to do about 3 to 5 of those on the left. And so here we go. Oh, and so then for the higher intensity version of this, you're just going to go faster. You're going to add a little bit more of a bounce to this one. Great exercise for your obliques, for kind of the lateral trunk muscle, but then we're also doing a ton of shoulders with this as we're reaching up and over our head. We're working a ton of hip flexors. We're doing a little bit of some hip abductors with this as you're raising your hip kind of out to the side in that direction. Just a great exercise to turn on a ton of muscles, get in a ton of work in not a lot of time. That's what we're all about. Again, maybe you're super busy, maybe you don't have a lot of equipment at home. No worries about either of those with this workout. You can do a ton of work without a lot of equipment required. Our next exercise is going to be some side step reaches. What you're going to do here is you're going to take a big step to your side. So I'm going over to my right side here, starting with both hands up and over my head. I'm going to lower both hands down towards my foot just as low as I can go. So here's a side step to the left, lower both hands as low as you can go. Again, the beginner version of this is just kind of a side step motion. The more advanced version of this, we're actually getting into more of a side lunge motion. So we're going to drop a lot lower down into the squat. My hands go down a lot lower as they reach down towards my toes. Again, try to push yourself. Do whichever version that you feel the most comfortable with. If you have any knee pain or some back pain going on, maybe you just don't work out very much, you should be able to do one of those versions. If it's the side step with the reach, even if it's just down towards your knee, you're still getting in some activity. You're still doing some motion there. You're making those muscles active. Everybody starts somewhere, so that's a great starting position for you maybe. Okay, so here's our 20-second active recovery period. The next one we're going to get into is called a high knee pull. So both arms come up and over your head. As I drop both arms over towards the outside or towards the left side of my body, my left knee is going to come up and to the outside of my right elbow. And then we're going to repeat that on the other side. So again, both elbows are going to twist down to the same side of your body as that same knee comes up to the outside of your elbow. Now, if you need a little bit higher intensity version of this, we're just going to kick up the speed. We're going to do a few more reps on each side. So maybe you can only do, or maybe you try to do about 3 reps to each side as be more the beginner version, about 5 reps to each side to be the more advanced version. The advanced version also includes you kicking up the speed. Great exercise, works a ton of core muscles with that as the knee and the elbows are coming together. We're also adding that rotary component to it, so we're kicking on a lot of the internal and external obliques, some important muscles in core stabilization and core strength with that one. Okay, you guys are doing great. We've got 2 more exercises to go. The next one I want to show you is an air jump rope. So basically what we're doing here is you're going to pretend like you have a jump rope. You'll see that again the beginner version of this are my feet aren't actually leaving the ground. So I'm just doing kind of a bunch of heel raises as my arms are going through that jump rope motion. So we're kicking on some arm muscles, some shoulder muscles with this. We're kicking on the leg muscles too as we're doing those heel raises up and down. Your higher intensity version of this exercise would be to actually mimic the full jump rope. So now you'll see that I turn my heel raises into actually a full jump. And so my feet are actually leaving the ground as we do this 40-second high interval with it here. You guys are looking good, looking good. So there's your 40-second high interval. Here's your 20-second low interval. Again, I'm doing a little bit of a boxer shuffle with it. Feel free to do some high knees. Maybe you do even more of those air jump rope. That's a great exercise to kind of do during the low recovery period. Whatever you can do to stay moving and stay active. Okay, our last exercise of this first set is going to be a squat with a torso rotation. So arms come out in front of you. You're going to drop down into a squat. At the bottom of the squat, you're going to reach your arm back behind you into, again, kind of a torso rotation here. Great exercises. We're working a lot of the leg muscles, the quads, the butt with this as we're dropping into those squats. We're working on some core muscles as we rotate back and away from it, and then some arm muscles as we're using the shoulders and the back to twist and rotate. Higher intensity version of this is I just want you to drop down lower into a squat. Try to keep your weight back on your heels. That's going to kick on kind of your butt a little bit more to stabilize down in that squat position. And then you're going to return back upright again with the arms alternating back behind you. All right, you guys, hey, you made it through. That's the first set of this exercise. So again, this is a total body workout that we're going to be shredding through. It's going to take us about 25 minutes to get through. There's your first set, and so we're going to finish up with this active recovery period. And so now what we'll do is take a 60-second break. So grab a drink of water, grab a quick rest, and then come back 60 seconds, and we'll hit round 2. All right, and welcome back to your second set of this, our total body workout that you can do at home, no equipment required on this. Hope you enjoyed that first set. Let's get to work on round number 2. So again, the first exercise that we're going to start with are some of those side step rows. Take a big step to your side. As you drop down into a curtsy lunge position, you're going to row both of your arms back behind you. So arms are out in front of you, drop down into a curtsy lunge, and then pull those arms back behind you. The emphasis here is I want you to really try to squeeze your shoulder blades together, kick on your back muscles with that one, and drop as low as you can into a squat. So we're working a lot of the abductors in the hips, so the side-to-side motion, and then you're dropping down into that lunge to get a lot of the quad muscle going. Returning from the lunge works a lot of the hip, but then we're also kicking on some upper body as well as we add these rows. Again, the higher intensity version of this is to do the full skater, so now I'm actually leaping side to side instead of just stepping from side to side. Okay, 40-second there. Here's our 20-second low intensity period, our 20-second active recovery period before we get into our next exercise is going to be the squat, reverse, row, and reach. We'll get that one started here in 3, 2, 1. So for the squat, reverse, row, and reach, we're going to drop down into a squat, row the arms back behind you, and then return upright, drop down into a squat again, reach your arms up and over your head. So here's your squat, reverse, row, and then back down. Here's your squat and reach, just like that. And then we're going to alternate those exercises for the 40-second time period. If you need a little bit higher intensity, again, the progression here would be to drop lower into a squat and to kick up the speed. Again, the faster the speed, the more reps you're going to get in this 40-second time period. And so try to push yourself, try to do just as many as you can. Again, you're not competing against anybody with this except for yourself. These are your goals. I'm just trying to help you to chase those down. Okay, very good. So there's your 40-second high period. Here's your 20-second low period. Again, maybe you're walking in place, maybe you're marching in place, maybe you're going up and down the stairs once. There's a lot of different things that you can do for this low intensity period that are going to keep your heart rate going. Our next exercise is going to be the static reverse fly and reach. So the static part comes in as we're doing kind of the quarter squat. My back is straight. I'm hinged forward at my hips. I'm going to do a reverse fly by keeping my elbows straight, squeezing my rhomboids together. That means I want to squeeze those shoulder blades together in the back to pull back behind me, and then reaching up and over my head. If I need a little bit higher intensity version of this, I'm going to drop down lower into a squat. Kicks on a little bit more of the hip muscles as I do that, and then I'm also going to take my speed up on, there's the reverse fly, and there's the reach. Okay, great exercise for your back muscles, especially for your upper back muscles. Those are so important in maintaining good posture, especially if you might have a desk job. We want to keep those muscles as strong as possible to avoid any pain or complications. Okay, very nice. So there's our 40-second high period. Here's our 20-second low period. And then we'll get into our next exercise is going to be the oblique crunch with the ceiling punch. Right arm goes up towards the head. Right knee kind of raises up and out to the side as the right elbow drops down towards the right knee. We do about 3 to 5 reps on the right, and then we're going to switch it over and about 3 to 5 reps on the left, dropping the elbow down towards the knee. Focus here is on the oblique, so I try to focus on my abs and on the kind of the lateral side of my abs as I'm doing these. You're also going to feel it in that hip flexor. You're also going to feel it in that shoulder a little bit as well. For the higher intensity version of this one, again, I just kind of added a little bit of a bounce with this. We're just increasing the speed, we're increasing the intensity, we're getting in a few more reps in our 40-second our 40-second high interval period. Okay, there's our 40-second active. Here's our 20-second kind of low intensity or active recovery period before we're going to get into our next exercise. Is going to be the side step and reach. We're going to get that one started here in 3, 2, 1. So the side step and reach. Reach over your head, step to the left. Both hands reach down towards the left foot and then return up to the upright position. So here we go. Side step left, reach as low as you can go. Return upright, side step right, both hands as low as you can go, and then return upright. Again, so taking the step with a little bit of a lunge is going to kick on the quads. We're going to weight bear through there a little bit. Maybe you can't go that low. That's totally just fine. If you can go a little bit lower, I want you to try to push yourself. Try to go as low as you can in this. So we turn my side step into the side lunge for the intermediate advanced version of the workout. So now it's a big step to the side, reach both hands down towards the toes just as low as you can go. Try to keep your back straight with that. I don't want you to round forward. I want you to actually lunge down. So bend your hips, bend your knee more than you bend your back in order to reach down towards your toes. Okay, very nice. You guys are looking good. Keep it up. Stay strong on this. Next thing that we're going to do are going to be those high knee pulls. So both hands are up and over your head. You're going to drop your elbows down to the left side of your body while that left knee kind of reaches up towards your left shoulder. And so we're going to do kind of a rotary motion with this, about 3 to 5 reps to the left. And then we're going to do about 3 to 5 reps to the right. Again, both hands up overhead as the right knee comes up kind of towards my left shoulder. My elbows drop towards the outside of my right knee. If you need a higher intensity version of this, you can do a few more reps at a time. So that means just, a less less of a rest period between alternating sides. You can also try to kick up the intensity by doing a few more reps, so going a little bit faster with your speed as you drop down into those high knee pulls. All right, so here we go on our 20-second active rest or active recovery period. Again, we're just boxer shuffling in place. My goal here is to keep the blood flowing, keep the heart rate up, not allow yourself some time to relax. Again, 25 minutes, it's a quick workout. We want to maximize every second of it. Our next exercise is going to be those air jump ropes. And so again, for the beginner version of this exercise, you'll see that my feet don't actually leave the ground. And so I'm just kind of rocking up onto the balls of my feet. The heels are leaving the ground, so we're doing a lot of some calf work with this. I'm also mimicking the jump rope motion with my arms and hands, and so we're kicking on some upper body with that. Now, if you do need a higher intensity version of this, again, we're going to kick it into the full jump rope motion. So now you'll see that both of my feet are actually leaving the ground with each rep as I'm kind of replicating that full jump rope motion. Turns the activity into a little bit less of a static motion, a little bit more of a dynamic or plyometric type of motion. Just works the muscles a little bit differently, pushes them a little bit harder to take them through that higher intensity, to get your feet to actually leave the ground as opposed to just your heels. Okay, very nice. Here's the 20-second low period, and then I've got great news, you guys. We got one more exercise in this, our second set. We're going to do the squats with the torso rotation. So both hands are forward, drop down into a squat, reach the right hand back behind you, and then return back upright. On the next rep, you're going to drop down into the squat, reach the left hand back towards you. So we're alternating. So there's my left hand and then back up. Here's my right hand and then back up. So we're alternating each side there. Go just as low as you feel like you can. The lower you go, the higher the intensity for this exercise. We're going to be kicking on a lot of the quad muscles. We're going to be kicking on a lot of the hip muscles. But then also as we add that rotation motion, we're working a lot of the oblique muscles, a lot of the core muscles with this, as well as some shoulders and arms as we're reaching out in front of us, and then alternating, reaching all the way back behind us. Okay, so there's the 40-second high period. Here's our 20-second low period. This is the last one of our second set. And you guys have completed 2 out of 3 sets of this. So same thing here. Take a 60-second break, grab a drink of water, take a quick rest, meet me back here, and we'll do round number 3. All right, you guys, here we go. Let's get things started with our third and final set in this, our total body workout here on Tone and Tighten. So we'll go ahead and we'll get things started with some of those side step rows. So you're going to drop down into that curtsy lunge position. And so as you drop down onto the left leg, right leg comes back behind you. And then as you're doing that, the row motion as well. And so hands are out in front of you, and then you're going to drop them both back behind you into that row position. If you need the higher intensity, we're now going to leap from side to side, turns it into a skater lunge with a row. Again, we're working as many muscle groups as we can here. We're working a lot of the upper body, we're working a lot of the back and the shoulders and the arms with this, as well as the lower body as we're working those hip abductors, the quads, and the hip extensors coming into and out of those lunge positions or those side lunge positions. There's our 40-second active period. With this last set, you guys, I want you to push yourself a little harder. Try to do maybe a little bit more. Try to do a little bit of more of the higher intensity versions of these if you can. If you feel safe with that, just try to push yourself. Again, the results that you see are going to be proportionate to the work that you put in. So we want to make sure that we're maximizing time with all of these. Next one's going to be the squat reverse row and reach. And so down into a quarter squat, arms out in front of you. There's the row motion as you pull your elbows back behind you. The reach motion comes as you reach both hands up and over your head. So there's the squat reverse row, and then the squat reverse reach would be up and over your head. The higher intensity version of this is you'll see that I took my quarter squat. Now I'm doing about a 3/4 squat. I could go even lower than that and do a full squat. Full squat would be thighs parallel to the ground. Go just as low as you feel like you can, just as low as you feel like safe doing. And so the goal there would be to work those quad muscles through as much range of motion as possible. Dropping lower into a squat is going to do that. If you can't get down that low into a squat, that's totally fine. Again, the idea is that we're activating those muscles. We're trying to strengthen them through as much motion as you can, okay? Maybe you do this workout one day. Maybe the next time that you do it, you try to push a little bit further. We're all about progression and getting better with this. Next thing that we're going to do is going to be the static reverse fly and reach. So again, static means that we're going to hold this little quarter squat position throughout the duration of this exercise. There's the reverse fly, elbows straight, pull your arms back behind you. The reach is again coming up and over your head. If you need a higher intensity, we're going to drop down even lower into a squat. I'm going to take those the reverse flies and the reaches. We're going to take the speed up on those, take the frequency up, so you're going to get a few more reps in for this 40-second time period. You guys are looking great. We've only got 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1 second left. Very nice. And so there's your static reverse fly and reach. There's the 40-second high period. We'll get into a 20-second low period on this. The next exercise that I've got for you are going to be some of those oblique crunches with the ceiling punches. We're going to get those started. You got 4, 3, 2, and 1. So the oblique crunch, ceiling punch, right hand up towards the ceiling, the right knee comes up towards the right elbow. As you drop that right elbow down towards it, again, the emphasis here is we're focusing on those muscles on the outside of your trunk, on the lateral side of your trunk. Those obliques are going to be the ones that stabilize basically your hips as you bring your hips up and over. And then they're also going to be active as you're pulling your elbow down towards your knee. Higher intensity is now we're just going to kind of bounce with it a little bit more. And so now we're going to use, again, a little bit more of the plyometric side of our muscles versus just the static side of our muscles. And so just a little bit different muscle fiber that we're activating with these exercises. Okay, very nice. So there's our 40-second high period. Again, about 3 to 5 crunches per side on those. And then we'll get into our 20-second low intensity period. Again, we're doing the boxer shuffle here today. Maybe you're marching in place. Maybe you're doing like a high knee with it. So do just as much as you feel like you can. Okay, our next one's going to be our side step and reach. So step to the side, reach both hands down towards the foot that you step towards, and then return back to that starting position. So here we go. Arms are up and over my head. Step to the right, both hands down towards my right toes as far as I can, then back overhead, and then step to my left, and both hands come down towards my left foot as far as they can go. Higher intensity would be to take just the side step and reach and turn it into a side lunge and reach. And so now all of a sudden I'm dropping a lot lower into a lunge. My hands, you see, are going a lot lower down towards my toes. We're just kicking on a lot more quad muscles with this. We're working a lot more of the hip muscles as we're dropping lower into those side lunges, but then the upper body muscles, so the shoulders and the chest and the back, are all still active with that one, regardless of which version of those exercises you decide to do. Okay, here we go. 20 seconds on the low interval, and then I've got great news, you guys. We've got 2 more exercises. Oh, I lied to you. We've got 3 more exercises. Here we go with the high knee pulls. And so both hands are up and over your head as they drop down towards the outside. So drop down, so that right elbow down towards the outside of your left knee, and then we're going to do that left elbow down and towards the outside of that right knee as they come up and over. Looks just like that is what the high knee pulls is what we're doing here. The higher intensity version of this would be to kick the speed up a little bit more. And so with this cross crunch motion here, we're doing a lot of the rectus abdominis muscle. And so that's the one that's going to bring your elbows and knees together. But by adding the rotary motion to it, we're also kicking on internal and external oblique to do that. So it's a really great exercise to maximize a lot of the muscles in your core, but we're not necessarily laying down on the ground. We're not kind of isolating, focusing on the core. We're still upright. We're still weight bearing. Makes it a great total body exercise. Okay, now we've got 2 more exercises left. Let's get into the air jump rope. And so for this one, again, my feet don't ever necessarily leave the ground for the beginner version of this. Again, if this is what you can do, this is where we need to start. Okay, the important thing is that you're making the changes. You're taking the time to make the difference in your life, that you can make some of these positive changes. And so just try as hard as you can. If you need a little bit higher intensity version of this, again, the full kind of jump rope motion here is going to be the way to go. So you'll see that both my feet actually leave the ground now as I run through this kind of full jump rope motion. Great way that we can work on the arms and the shoulders, as well as, again, some of those plyometric muscles in the calf. Okay, so there's our 40-second high period. We've got just a 20-second low period left. And then we've got one more exercise. It's going to be the squat with the torso rotation. And we're going to get into that after our active rest, active recovery period. Hope you guys are feeling this. Hope that heart rate's up. Here we go with our last exercise. So here's the squat. There's the torso rotation. So my arms are out in front of me. I'm going to drop down into as low a squat as I can go. While I'm down in that low squat position, that's when both hands, or one hand, kind of rotates back behind you. On the next rep, that's when the other hand rotates back behind you. The higher intensity version of this is again to drop down lower into a squat and to kick the speed up. And so the lower you go into the squat, the more of that muscle that we're going to work through a greater range of motion, and then we're still going to add the rotary component to it by reaching back behind you. So it's a great exercise as the squat with a torso rotation, and guess what? We're all done with it. So hey, we've only just got the 20-second low intensity interval period, and then you guys have completed this workout. Again, this has been about a 25-minute total body workout with Tone and Tighten that you can do at home, no equipment required. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you do, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't done so already, it's a great opportunity to subscribe to Tone and Tighten so that you can be sure to never miss a workout in the future or a new video that we post here on our YouTube channel. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, we'll see you right back here on Tone and Tighten.